What is up, guys? What's up? What's up? Crypto FUD. All right, and let's jump right into this live stream for today, January the 3rd. What a day it's been, right? Just going to give it a few seconds. Wait for some people to trickle in. Backlovius, what's up, brother? CM, what's going on, brother, man? What a day today. How are you guys doing? Everybody survived today? Everybody survived. Who bought the dip this morning? I know my hand's up. I definitely took advantage of that dip. Was able to catch it pretty much right at the bottom. Let me erase this right here. All right. So real quick, just checking to see for Milady particularly, we saw this massive dip today, right? And I did have to go live this morning, just because it was occurring as I was making a video on Milady, right? I made the video, posted it, and I mean within minutes I'm watching this thing just the red candle from hell is what I've been calling it, right? But you know what? Couple things that we're going to go through today that I think was pretty bullish, after the fact, looking at the silver lining, and we'll definitely get into it. So right now, just checking on Bitcoin, because obviously that's what really caused the massive, the massive sell-off, right? Bitcoin right now is sitting at around 42,800. We did bounce up today somewhere around the 43.6. So we did see a nice bounce off of Bitcoin. And I know that earlier this morning, when we posted the live, there was no indication of what was going on, right? Nothing was out yet. We really had no information on why there was such a massive sell-off for Bitcoin and for everything else, right? But as today, I'm sure you guys got a lot of information as well as I did. And now what I'm hearing is that this was just a massive FUD campaign. An article came out basically putting out a lot of FUD without any kind of solid concrete, saying that the ETFs were declined as of today. So as that came out, literally right after that article came out, you saw the sell-off start, right? You saw the sell-off, and once one big sell starts, you start seeing that red candle. It's just like a cascade event, and that's pretty much what we saw today for Bitcoin. And then obviously with Bitcoin dropping such a big drop within maybe an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, it literally moved 7% for Bitcoin. And you saw something like Milady move 40% within 30 minutes. So this morning, if you guys didn't catch the stream, we started before we went live. I was posting a video and we were pretty much sitting, within this channel right here, right? And as I finished that, we saw this massive drop, about 41, almost 42%, right? So this happened, I actually was making a video and I added to my bag because I was like, look, we have a little bit of a dip. I was like, it was at like the 60 mark. It was at like the 60 mark. And I was like, you know what? Given what it's done before, it's bounced multiple times at this spot right here of support around the 62. So we were pretty much right when we got to that 62. I added to my bag, right? And, I finished the video, and I'm sitting here looking at the charts, and this thing just starts just dropping. I was like, oh my God. And I'm looking at Bitcoin, and it's just dropping. So I ended up literally waiting, and I was like, I guarantee this thing's probably going to come down to this 200-day moving average, most likely. And that's exactly what it did. It dropped all the way down to this 200-day moving average, and I already had my buy ready, set, boom, I put it in. You guys know, usually when I'm trying to buy in, it's like it drops. And by the time I buy in, it's already back up to normal. So I was able to catch this one on the drop. So I was pretty happy about that. And what I wanted to get to as far as this particular drop was, we saw this thing drop, we saw the 40%, move, right? But almost instantly after it made that 40% drop, within 5 minutes, we were already up. we were already up, and that's when we started coming out with the live and we were mapping everything out. We had bounced at one time back up 38%. So we already almost ate almost the whole drop, but you can see we really have been consolidating around that move. So we'll map it out exactly. So from this candle down, it was about a 38% move, right? But you can see within 10 minutes, we bounced back up and we formed this green candle, which is telling me we went up 43%, which that doesn't make sense. But regardless, we moved up, we ate up pretty much about 70% of the drop, right? So we moved down and we were able to actually get a lot of buyers to come in and accumulate a lot of that drop, where we dropped down, but it was very short-lived and we were able to move right back up, almost back to this channel, right? And we pretty much have been where we were at. We really haven't moved. We actually were a little higher right after the dip at around 5.9, almost at 60 mark. But then from there, we've kind of been just consolidating pretty much where we're at that 57, right? But the point of what I'm getting to was that it showed that there was massive people just waiting on the sidelines, or waiting just like CM said, he added another billion to his bag. I bought in multi-billions, when we dropped down to this bottom, because I looked at it as this was a crazy opportunity. You don't really see these massive giga drops, just like how it happened. We're so instant. I could have easily sold my position and was up 30% off of just the position that I just added. Within 5 minutes, it literally jumped up 30%, right? Obviously, I didn't do that. But what I'm saying is that this project there was a lot of people sitting there waiting for a drop like this to either buy in or add to their bag. And I was definitely one of them. Obviously, CM saying he was one of them too. So that's awesome. Definitely. Now we're going to look at a couple other projects, but really just wanted to explain. So today's big move for Bitcoin particularly was basically a bunch of FUD in regards to an article coming out saying that the ETFs were declined. Now, we don't know exactly what's going on, if this article got insider news or if they were just spreading FUD. But for right now, one thing that we can confirm is that there's been no release as far as an approval or a decline. So that's why you saw where Bitcoin basically had such a massive drop, but it was pretty much ate up about halfway, I would say. You saw, if you really map out Bitcoin, and it looks like such a dramatic drop, but it's really from where we were at before the drop, we'll put it right there, it was about an 8% drop for Bitcoin, right? But you can see after that 8% drop, it moved right back up about 4-5%. So you can see 50% of the drop was literally accumulated within minutes. And that was because basically a lot of people were able to figure out that it was just FUD speculation for right now, but it was enough to spook a lot of people out of the market for right now just because of that FUD, right? I have to sneeze. Hold on one second. Always sneeze on live stream. I don't know what it is, but yeah, so it stinks. We had something like this come out, but at the end of the day, who cares, right? Who cares? I look at it as I was able to buy in at a fraction, right? I was able to buy in because my average at the time was around the 60 mark, right? So I was able to accumulate a big chunk down here at this 41. So that brought me down a lot. I haven't even checked the average, since I made the buy, but that brought me down a nice chunk as far as my my average cost per Milady. So honestly, I'm not too upset about the drop. It stinks to see, because a lot of my other projects that I was invested in are technically down now, right? We've seen this massive drop. Everything pretty much was hit today. You have Bitcoin obviously starting the move, but you look at some of the projects, some of the strong projects like Solana. Solana went, you can see right here, Solana was technically trading at about 105 and it moved down to $85, which is about a 22% move right there off of Solana. And if you really think about that, yeah, 23%. Well, 22. I was almost exactly there. 22%. And if you think about Solana's market cap being so high up, imagine how much money sold off on Solana. Imagine how much money sold off. Now, obviously, it was able to regain a lot of that drop sitting at about 15% high. So it's really only probably about 8% down from where it was at technically starting today, about 9%. So nothing crazy. That's pretty much how it's going to be across the board right now. Some projects got hit a little bit harder than others, but most of the projects now are pretty much down anywhere from 5 to 10% right now. And that's because it spooked a lot of people where they didn't buy back in, but you had a lot of people that have been here and done it, right? I don't know about you guys, but I've been here and done it. I've seen these massive giga drops before, and they don't really spook me much, right? Now, there was a couple of them that really did when we were in the bear market and like the exchanges were collapsing. That was something I had never experienced before, right? So that was a little bit nerve-wracking, because you got your money in some of these exchanges. You're kind of like, holy crap, which one's going to be next? But something like this today, it didn't scare me. I knew that there was something out there, that happened and that we were going to find out, and it probably was going to be most likely a nothing burger. Doesn't mean that it didn't, it didn't hurt the market, right? But at the end of the day, I think, especially if this ETF does get approved, like we have it, it's 80% chance that it's going to get approved. If we do get word that it gets approved, I think that whole dip's going to be eaten up, and we'll be back up towards our $45,000, $46,000, if not exceeding that. Like I said, technically, we are back into this channel, right? I don't know if this channel is still in play because we technically did break out for the bull flag or the descending triangle, so I don't know if we would still map it and say, well, just forget about these gains right here and we're pretty much still, running in this channel. We'll have to see how it plays out, but I think in the next few days, we're really going to get some confirmation in regards to what's going to happen with this ETF. But I think today was a little preview on if just so happens if we do get denied on this ETF, we could see another sell-off. I don't know if it's going to be this dramatic, but something similar to what we saw today, right? Now, market cap for Milady down to $42 million. $42 million, right? 41, just dropped to 41.9, right? It's been teeter-tottering all day. You can see on this chart, this is really what we've been dealing with, like a flat line. We saw that volatility. It got ate up on a big chunk of it, but since then, it's really just been flatline, kind of trading in the same range, a real tight range. I will say, this morning when it dropped down and we were at this low, the market cap right here dropped all the way down to $30 million. $30 million, and I mean instantly. We jumped up to around the 60 mark, right? Instantly, the market cap went from $30 million. I am not lying to you. It went down to $30 million, and within 10 minutes, it had jumped right back up to $40 to $42 million. I mean, within 5 or 10 minutes. 5 or 10 minutes. It was like nuts, like how much money went out and went in. It was insane, honestly. And you can see the volume kind of coincides with that. We're about $10 million in volume for today, but we're up 70% as far as volume for the 24-hour period, right? The whole crypto market volume's up 42% today, right? And you can see, remember, I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys listen whenever I talk about Bitcoin dominance, you guys remember as of like a few days ago, I've been calling and saying, as we get closer to this ETF, the Bitcoin dominance is going to start going up a little bit. We started off about 4 days ago. It was at 49.9, and we're technically up at 51.1. And I did call that I think when the ETF is, if and when it is approved, we're going to see Bitcoin dominance probably go up to around 51.5 to 52%, maybe even a couple hairs higher than 52%. As far as Bitcoin dominance, which isn't a bad thing. It just means that a lot of money has moved into Bitcoin particularly, right? But don't worry, it'll always feed back into the altcoins. So we definitely want to see, Bitcoin do good. We want to see Bitcoin do good. That's, the cream of the crop for everything. Now, real quick, just checking on the chat. What's up, guys? Everybody that's in here, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like. We got 21 people in here, but we only have 8 likes. What's going on here, guys? What's going on here? I went through hell today too, just like you guys. At least throw a like out there, right? I'm just kidding. But I appreciate it. Hit the like for me. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe. Hit that subscribe. Second stream today for the day. So let's see here. So CM was saying he added another billion to his bag. Nice, nice. Eller, what's up, man? He said, I don't have any more money to invest. Last time that I could buy was in the 75s, but I'm happy. I'm bullish. It will go to the moon. Definitely, brother. You know what? That's not a bad price point that you're at. And we'll definitely, we will 100% see that number again, and we'll see that number. We just don't know when, right? It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be in a few months from now, you know? So we don't really know, but that's a solid number for sure, for sure. And someone was saying, bless me because I sneezed. I appreciate that. I was like, oh, bless me, like holy. I was like, I appreciate that, man. Bless your heart too. But that's right. I did just sneeze like 10 minutes ago. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And TJ was saying the same thing. God bless. I appreciate that. Deva was saying, hi, everyone. What's up? Welcome, welcome. And Clayton was saying, you're lucky you only sneeze once. When I sneeze, I usually sneeze 15 to 20 in a row. I think I would pass out if I sneezed that many times. But if you can hear, I literally got like 4 feet away from the mic and it still picked it up like I was like sneezing into the mic. And I honestly did not mean to do that. But it's like one enormous like, habloo! It like takes my soul out and then it comes back in. You know, I'm like, whew. Whew. So let's see here. Eller was saying, hi there. The holders are almost the same. Is it good? What do you mean as far as that? Hi there. The holders are almost the same. You mean like how many people are holding like the bags, like as far as wallets? If that's what you mean, you know, I would imagine, and we're going to go through this real quick here in a second. You guys know we're going to go through the whale holdings and all that stuff. But if you're talking about whale, the total wallets really being around the same number, yeah, that only leads me to really say is that most likely a lot of, maybe you had some people sell off, you know, completely in their bag, but most people probably didn't sell off their whole bag. A lot of us didn't sell at all, you know, and we just added to our bag. That big drop most likely was the whales, like a few whale wallets just dropping all at once. And that was from across the board, probably getting rid of all their assets, thinking that crypto was going to zero once again for the 1000th time in the last like 4 years, right? But you'll see them come right back, you know, so it is what it is. I guess when you're dealing with massive amount of money, and a lot of times you're dealing with other people's money, I guess it's better to weigh on the caution, right? The caution side. So when you see something like this happening, I think they just really, they're like, I'd rather sell for a small loss right now and then just buy back in, even if I have to buy back in at a little bit more than what I sold off in, right? So, and I understand that, you know, we're dealing with our money. You got these big whales. They're obviously either they're dealing with their own money, but it's like 100 times what we have. Or some of them, especially in Bitcoin's case, you have a lot of these funds that are these hedge funds or these big, you know, corporations that are dealing with investors' money. So they have to be very cautious and make sure that they go the more conservative side. So, you know, they don't know how far we're going to drop or anything like that. So they'll usually sell off and then just buy right back in. Or maybe in the next few days they'll buy back in. Regardless, they'll be back, right? Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. They'll be back. So we're not worried about it. So let's see here. Devil was saying new project, Voy. Low market cap, willing to pump. Look into this. Maybe you'll find it interesting. Even Kiki. Cheers. Yeah, we'll look at it. We'll look into it as the show moves on. We'll definitely look into it. And MC Law was saying, I bought 150 pounds worth this morning. Nice. Law, were you able to catch the exact bottom or did you catch close to the bottom? I was able to catch that almost. I mean, it probably wasn't exactly like right there, right on the bottom, but it was like right next to it, right? Around that 41, 42 mark. So, and let's see here. TJ said, I DCA'd to an average of 7. My first buy was at 18. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you did. You know, and I don't blame you, bro, because, you know, the hype was there. You know, the momentum was there, right, at when we were up there towards that 15 to 18 mark. So I don't blame you whatsoever. But you did the right thing, right? You're DCAing and you brought your average down almost half of what it was, more than half, right? So, I mean, you're doing great. You're definitely in the right path. And, I'm not giving out financial advice, but, days like this, you can easily just keep doing what you're doing and bringing your average down. So you don't even acknowledge that your first buy-in was at the high, right? Because it doesn't matter anymore. And Super came here to tell us what he's been telling us, right? I have to agree. Super did come in when we were at a high, and he did say, he didn't tell everybody to sell, but he said it's always smart to take profits, right? It's always smart to take profits, and I didn't disagree with him whatsoever. Disagree with him whatsoever. And it is what it is, right? A lot of people don't want to hear that when you're at these highs. You should take profits. I remember this one video, Milady had jumped up like 40%, and this was like probably 4 months ago. And I remember putting in the video, I was like, telling the people, I was like, not financial advice, but maybe look into taking some profits, right? This guy crucified me in the comments. He was saying, why the hell are you telling people to sell and all this? I even made another video like a day later, and I pulled up his comments in the videos, and I was like, well, look at this guy. And I wasn't telling people, listen, go sell everything you have of Milady. I was saying, we are up, and it was a gigapump, because remember, we go back in the charts. You go back in the charts, and this was like back early in the year, and you could see some of these moves, right? You could see where we were having these little gigapumps. And I was like, you know what? We've done this already a couple times where it just shoots up 50 or 60% instantly, and a lot of times it gets sold off, right? It finds a spot, and it gets sold off. So I was telling everybody, I was like, if you can find that spot at the top and you sell, buy back in and use those profits that you just made, and now you have 30 or 40 or 50% more of Milady, right? And and the guy was like flipping out. So not that he dictated what I think nowadays, but I just kind of watch out as far as my wordage, because I know these are people get emotional about their investments and stuff like that, right? And I want to be 100% transparent with you guys, but I don't want to like try to steer you into selling, and then this thing pumps up 100x. You've been waiting for the last year, and then you go and sell, and then it freaking shoots up. So, you got to do your own research, right? I'm only here giving you my opinion, but at the same time, I always tell you guys, make sure you have a game plan, right? And now that we're back down and we're recharging, when we start shooting back up, always have a game plan. What's your game plan? Is it to 10x, 2x? Is it to make $200? Is it to make $1,000? Who knows? Right? We all have different goals, but just make sure you guys are obviously doing what's best for yourself and for your finance. So, but other than that, Dai said I woke up and saw the dip, and so I DCA'd, and that's exactly what I did. Said he grabbed 7 billion more. Nice. And Interstellar saying hello to everybody. How you guys doing? Real quick, let's check. 10 likes? I have 10 likes right now. We have 20 something people in here. Come on, guys. I hope that's not updated, right? Hit the like, guys. Support the channel. So let's see here. So a couple things. Let's check out the wallets. So remember, today what we look at as far as these wallets, it's not going to be anything that we care about, because it's not going to show us what happened today, right? Everything's going to be 2 days behind. So as of the 1st, right on New Year's Day, the whale wallets, just like I anticipated, started going up, right? We started going up. We went up a few whale wallets, which is great, but wait until we get the information for today. It's probably we're gonna see that most likely a few whale wallets ended up dumping, right? You can see Whale Holdings has gone up, nothing crazy. Actually, it's really pretty much the same. So Whale Holdings is still at around 667 trillion as of the 1st. Whale wallets did go up a few, so you can see that. Now let's see here. So volume wise, Gate.io actually got dethroned. Bybit was the number one exchange for today for 24-hour volume for Milady. But let's look in here and let's see what the buys and sells are for Gate.io. This usually dictates what the market's doing, and you can see right now for buys, we're around 14% buys, and sell is around 85%, right? Almost 86%. So you guys can see, a day like this, you're going to see the buy to sell ratio is going to be, you know, towards, obviously the sell pressure is tremendous right now. It's definitely, you know, the sellers are still in control, you know, even though we did see us bottom out, and we did, you know, we bounced a nice bounce, right? But we still technically, you know, we're still in the mercy of the sellers for now, right? We're going to get our vengeance. We will get our vengeance eventually, but for right now, the sellers are still in control, which is perfectly fine, because technically, even where we're at right now, these are damn good prices. Damn good prices. You know, and I probably will. I'm monitoring right now. Like I said, I did buy a big chunk, but I most likely will continue to buy. I actually wish that I would have just gone balls to the wall down here and just like freaking went crazy and bought like a massive amount, right? You know, because especially if I'm going to buy now, and we did that bounce, we're up 20 something % from the bottom right here. I'm basically getting 38% less. You know, that was a significant drop, but it's a beautiful bounce. Honestly, it really was. And Bitcoin did almost the same thing. You know, it dropped all the way down to around 41.5, and this thing earlier got up to 43.5. So you saw, you know, just like massive fluctuations within. I mean, this was within hours. So let's see here. Dai said, I sell when altcoin season. And this run up real high. Once Bitcoin dominance is in the 30s or 40%, we in the altcoins are going to go parabolic, and these are just a small pump. Dai, you think that Bitcoin dominance is going to go to, even during altcoin season, you think Bitcoin dominance is going to go down to 30 or 40%? I don't think, not 30. I'll give you low 40s is what I think. I'll give you low 40s for Bitcoin dominance. We'll have to come back and see. We'll be here obviously whenever that happens, and we'll have to see. But I think when altcoin season is exploding, Bitcoin dominance will probably come down towards around 42 to 45% is what I'm seeing, most likely. Now, if it goes down to 30%, that means the altcoins are absolutely going bonkers, right? Now, let's check out a couple meme coins that have been doing good recently, right? Let's check out what meme coins are doing. I think this is not the bunk that I was looking at. Always pull up the wrong bunk. You guys know it, right? Here it is. So bunk kind of looking the same, right? I mean, doesn't this kind of look the same? Look at this. You know, it had a massive drop, and then you can see it kind of just resided about halfway. You know, so let's map out. So remember, all these percentages are going to be different because Bunk's market cap's a lot bigger than Milady's. So you saw a 25% drop for Bunk, and then from the bottom towards where they're at right now, you saw a rebound of about 15%, right? So they're sitting at around 10% under where they were before that drop. But you can see Bunk was already kind of on a downward swing, right? It was kind of trying to find that bottom wherever it was going to be, so it can kind of just, you know, maybe start building some momentum, even if it was going to chop for a while. You can see, so Bunk's bottom was around that 10 mark, and that makes sense. You know, right before it gained to zero, it was able to kind of hold that spot right at that 10 mark. So, you know, and let's look at Bunk's market cap real quick. I'm sure it was yesterday 860 million. I'm guessing it's probably going to be somewhere around 600 million today, 700. So yeah, around 700 million. So, and let's look up let's look up Sneak, because this has been a big project for the Solana network. And look at this. Sneak's really been holding up. I mean, look at that. Doesn't even look like it was affected today. Look at that. Sneak doesn't even look like it was affected today. That's pretty bullish. That's pretty good. If you guys are looking for Sneak, you guys can see obviously a solid spot. And I was calling this before it even dropped right here, because I could see multiple times it was this 618 is going to be a pivotal spot right here at the 12 mark. Around the 12.8. If you guys are looking to maybe jump in on Sneak, have patience. That could be a solid spot to buy in for Sneak. And Sneak's market cap isn't too big. You know, it's like, I think it's around $200 million, if I'm not mistaken. 105. So you can see Sneak is still relatively very small market cap. It is very small, and this is running off the Solana ecosystem. So if Solana continues to have the momentum that it's having, it's going to bring projects like Sneak with it for sure. So TJ was saying Google searches for BTC Bitcoin is low. Yeah, it is what it is right now. I think what we have is a lot of just diehards that are still, in the market that have been pumping Bitcoin, but we haven't seen that initial retail investor that's been out of Bitcoin for 2 years. We haven't seen them come back yet, right? And that's exactly. I'm looking at your next comment. Your retail isn't in yet, exactly. So we're on the same page there. You can see, yeah. So retail, that's pretty much what it tells me too, is that retail is not in right now. They haven't jumped in yet. So still tells me that we're still in a solid place as far as consolidation and adding to your projects. Some of them have pumped like crazy, right? But some of these other hidden gems they're still only maybe like 10 or 15% above their 200-day moving average, and they have a lot of room to move. But ICP, look at ICP. So ICP topped out at around $16. You saw this not big, I'm going to say you saw a decent drop, right? But look how fast this thing got ate up, and it went literally right back to where it was consolidating at. That's how ICP particularly has a lot of momentum behind it. A lot of momentum for ICP. And that's awesome. I see ICP's probably, if this can continue, this thing's going to go up to probably $100 during the bull run. I would not be surprised. Not at all. Now let's see here. So Dai was saying we got at least a year to hold, at least a year for your gains are considered long-term gains, and you pay less taxes. Don't forget to pay Uncle Sam, people. Uncle Sam, always with his hand out, right? Always with his hand out. Uncle Sam hates crypto, but if you make any money on that crypto, you better you owe him. You owe him. And that's what I think is just like, it's ridiculous, honestly. But it is what it is, right? We got to pay taxes. Trust me, I pay a lot of taxes a year. I pay a lot. I'm sure we all do, right? Anywhere you live. It's just part of the name of the game, right? So let's see here. Dai was telling somebody, Jay, I know you sell to make profit, not to lose profit, right? And let's see here. TJ already saying Google searches are down. Sean's in the house. What's up, brother, man? How you doing? Man, been driving AM from Florida to North Carolina. Holy crap. That's a 12, 14 hour drive, right? Because I did that drive like 2 years ago. We drove from the Tampa area up to right where that little corner is where North Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee meet. We were kind of all in there for like around 2 weeks, mostly in Tennessee, but we would go into the mountains of North Carolina as well. So I know that's like a solid 15, 14, about 12 to 14 hour drive from where I was at. So what about the damn Bitcoin crash? So Sean, we were just pretty much saying a lot of this move today was mostly, from what we've gathered, has been mostly from a lot of FUD. There's a lot of FUD right now, and I say FUD because it hasn't been confirmed about the ETF being denied, right? We had an article come out, and it was a big article that came out, and it pretty much spooked a lot of people early this morning before a lot of people were even awake to react. But it pretty much stated that the ETFs, all of them, every single one of them were denied, right? But at the back end, we were able to confirm, a lot of people were able to confirm that this is still speculation. It wasn't actually solid, credible news as of now. Now, you can say, well, what if this article got some kind of an insider knowledge as far as what they're anticipating what's going to happen, right? Or are they just spreading FUD? What if they're spreading FUD to bring the price down for some of these big players? Who knows right now, right? It's all speculation. We have our tinfoil hats on. No one really knows yet. But I think in these next few days, because the deadline's between the 5th and the 10th, we're going to be finding out somewhat. We're going to be finding out for sure, And I think it was a little preview. Obviously, if we see that it does 100% confirm that it gets sold off, then we're gonna probably see a little bit more pain in the market, right? But I think just remember what we just came through with the last 2 years. We dealt with a lot of pain, right? But remember, we'd go through some big debacle, and then after a month, it's like forgotten, right? And then we start kind of retracing where we were at, and that's going to be the same thing for this. If we do get that negative news as far as the ETF, but if we are able to get positive news and we find out that the ETF was approved, like I said, we're still in play for that $48,000 Bitcoin. Now, we also have to take in consideration, we get the positive news, everything gets approved. I'm still taking in that we'll probably jump up to 48,000 around there conservatively, and then we're going to see some kind of a sell the news event after that. But what we're anticipating is that hopefully with Bitcoin particularly, if we were able to jump up, let's say ETF gets approved, this is my line right here, we bounce up, let's see here, let's get some drawings going on, right? So let's say we run up, right? We run up, ETF's approved, we basically maybe we hang out around here for a little while, but I think we're eventually going to sell the news kind of an event, and most likely will probably come right here and bounce at where our local high was, right? Oops. Somewhere around there, and that would be a very bullish move, believe it or not, because if we saw some kind of a run up, we hit our head around 48,000, maybe we exceed 48,000 a little bit, right? But we see somewhat of a sell the news. As long as we bounce above or around where we topped out at, around that 46, 40, 45, 8 mark, we'll be very, very bullish. And like I said, within weeks, people forget about it all. We have the ETFs behind us. We're approved. Now we have the next catalyst. We have the halving coming in April. We have the Feds coming out 3 times this year with interest rate cuts. We have all that coming, which will set us up for us to most likely retest this 48 at some point and eventually break, and us getting up towards the 50,000 mark. So now don't quote me, it might not happen exactly like this really bad drawing that I did right here, but something similar just to kind of give you that visual aspect of what I think's going on in my brain of what could possibly happen, if the ETF is approved, right? So let's see here, just checking back on. Let's see, Sean said the message they put out was mainly to be directed towards the inside and commercial traders. All right. I hear you on that. And he said, look on CoinDesk. Oh, yeah, let's go look, because they're always coming out with some good info as far as what's going on. Oh, yeah. And this also brings me, you guys, I know everybody else saw it. Jim Cramer was saying yesterday, finally getting on board, saying that Bitcoin was a technological marvel, and that this thing was going to do some crazy numbers. And I mean, anybody that knows the Jim Cramer, the inverse effect, we all know what was in store, right? You could have had no ETFs around or whatever the case may be, and still with the Jim Cramer stuff coming out yesterday, it probably would have still crashed us. Just because this guy, usually the rule of thumb is if Jim Cramer is telling you to buy in on something, do the opposite. If he's telling you to sell something, do the opposite. It's been a big player. There's literally people that trade like that. There's like news forums and stuff like that that literally trade off of what Jim's saying. The opposite effect, right? So yeah. So let's see here as far as So look at this. This is as of today, 12 o'clock, when all this crap was going around. You see Bitcoin ETF looks very likely given the bureautical, or I didn't even pronounce that correct, but the SEC steps. We see a 98% chance of approval in the next couple of weeks and the high likelihood of Bitcoin rally to follow. 98% they're giving it as far as approval. That's up from just a few days ago that was at 90. So, we are still on track for everything, right? We saw this day-to-day. This day-to-day was really for the people that are not scared of these dips, that took advantage. You guys were given an awesome opportunity to really add your bags, not only for Milady, but for really any projects today. You saw a full spectrum across the board of anywhere from 30% drops to a lot of the bigger market cap projects down 10, 15, and some of them even 20% very briefly. But you had the opportunity to jump in on some of these prices, right? So let's see here. So yeah, so Sean was pretty much saying exactly what I was saying. He was saying, they're pushing FUD and that he believes that we're going to be getting approved. Yeah, I mean, for sure, dude. I mean, it's just a matter of when. I think a lot of people are really harping on January, because we've been denied many times, and they have to keep basically critiquing, whatever they're putting inside their ETF so they can appease the SEC, right? And this time is supposed to stick like a charm, because it's like we pretty much mastered what they're really wanting the ETF to look like. And that's why there's such a big percentage of why the analysts are really calling for an approval, right? But anything can happen. Anything really can happen. So, and he was saying Fidelity just jumped on the train for the ETF. That's huge. Hell yeah. Fidelity's a very big 401k. Obviously they hold a lot of stuff, but mainly 401k, and they hold probably billions and billions and billions of dollars of assets. For sure. So Amora was saying, what up, y'all? Stuck to my plan, waited until this came close to my average, and now I'm going in. Nice. Good job, brother. And let's see here. I think there's 90 million millionaires as of 2023. 23, I meant, I'm sorry. Hold on, what were you saying? I think there's 90 millionaires? What do you mean, 90 millionaires? For Bitcoin? And Dai was saying if BlackRock's pushing it, it's going to get approved. You're right, but you know what, Dai? It's not going to be just BlackRock. They're going to approve most likely all 13 ETFs all at once, right? But they have to make sure that everything is all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted. So that's what the big buildup has been, and why it's been denied multiple times. But I think, and like we keep saying, most likely this time around we're going to see that approval. Hopefully, right? We're due for it. So just to recap, Milady, our beloved Milady, market cap sitting at around $42 million. Still relatively down from yesterday, right? If you look at this channel that we've been trading in, if you really just go from the middle of the channel to where we're at right now, even if you were to just add to your bag right now, you're getting a 17.5% discount from the channel that we've been chopping around in, right? So, I mean, even right now, even if you didn't catch that bottom, right now is a solid spot where you're getting that discount in, right? And you guys got to zoom out and look at the long term. This thing, $42 million, we're going to blow, right? We're definitely 100% set up for a nice move. So, other than that, just looking at the tweets, nothing really crazy. Everything's been really quiet as far as for Milady today. Haven't seen anything. Just a few people kind of, like this one little bear that was talking trash, but not to Milady, but to other people, I guess, that were saying that Milady was about to explode. But what's funny is you always have those guys that are going to be the bears, right? Those one-off people that are going to be bears, but whenever Milady does explode, they'll be gone, disappeared. You won't be able to even tweet them or anything. They're going to be disappeared because they're going to be under their rock, and they're like little snakes. They go under their rock until the next bear market. But those are the people that don't make really no money. And they're upset because they sold at a low, right? Oh, yeah. Amor, he knows. See, Amor, I wasn't even talking about him. But, oh, yeah. See, I wasn't even going to bring his name up. But, yeah, he's known around, because he always wants to sit here and talk trash to everybody on for Milady. I wasn't even going to give him the audacity of even, being named on here, but since you did name him, Amor named him. Yeah, that guy, I have to hold my fingers back, right? Because I start typing, and I'm like, I'm not even going to get into it, right? You don't even want to get into it with a person like that, because at the end of the day, who freaking cares? He has no pull around here, right? Everybody knows he's just spreading FUD, and he's obviously, for you to be that upset about Milady, there's something going on. He obviously lost, or whatever the case is. He missed his opportunity when it rode up. So he's gonna sit there and he wants to bring other people down because he's upset. So who cares about that dude, for sure. That's funny that you know about him. That is funny that you know about him. So top exchanges for today, looking a little different. Usually Gate.io is usually the top, but Bybit's the top for today. KuCoin crept up. KuCoin's been sitting around that 5 or 6 mark. It crept up, and exchange that we don't normally see on here that's on today is Crypto.com. And I'm sure they're probably on here because people were most likely selling on Crypto.com, so that's why you saw them pop up today in the top 10 per volume exchanges for Milady particularly. So you're saying Sean, you're saying there's 90,000 millionaires? What are you saying, across the country, or what do you mean? Because I'm pretty sure there's more millionaires across the country than 90,000. I would honestly probably bet that it's in the millions. There's millions of people that are millionaires, right? And Amora was saying he only appears when Milady's crashes. Exactly, dude. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, that guy. 90,000 millionaires made in 2023. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. I understand what you're saying, Sean. But more to go back, those people have been around. Those people have been around since the Dogecoin era, right? And I swear, because I used to be all over the Facebook pages, right? And they would be on there just bashing Dogecoin, right? When it was at like 2 or 3 cents, saying that it was going to be at 0. It's not going to do nothing. And you guys know the end of the story. It took a while. We had to listen to a lot of that crap, and it was annoying. It really pissed you off. But man, who got the last laugh? Really, who got the last laugh when Dogecoin went up to 70 something cents, all the way from like a fraction of a penny? The bulls won, right? But guess what? I'm sure right when Dogecoin went back down to like 6 or 7 cents, they all came creeping out of their rocks, and they're like, "See, I told you," because you got to remember, there's people out there that they take losses, on a lot of these projects, and then they're like forever, like it's their enemy, right? And you're their enemy because you're speaking highly on a project that they took a loss on, right? So now they feel it's their duty to attack you or continue to attack the project. And who cares? These people are irrelevant. Because what my boy Sean said? Said 90 million millionaires were made in 2023, and we're all up next. We're all up next, right? All of us that are holding a nice bag of Milady, we're all up. Even if we're not going to be millionaires, I guarantee holding on to Milady long term is going to be nothing but beneficial for you, right? It's going to be nothing but beneficial eventually. Now, how much is it going to be beneficial? That's what we have to wait to see, right? But some of these predictions that we have, even for myself, still in play. The $2 to $8 billion market cap at its prime for Milady. That means at $8 billion, that's 160, 170x from where it's at right now, right? Think about that. You do the math on how much, if you have $1,000, how much 1,000 times 170 would be, right? That's life-changing money right there. That really is. And some of these people that are in here are holding thousands of dollars. And Super comes in saying you only become a millionaire if you know when to take profits and when to buy back at a low. Super's going to hold it up against us that he told us all to sell at the top, at this local top. He's going to hold it up against us. It's all right, brother. It's all right. Because at the end of the day, we're all here. We're in the same project. But I understand what you're saying. Definitely. Sean was saying this is not financial advice, but if you ain't buying the 65 depth on Milady with the pumps we've had, window is still open. And AI Daily was saying I bought Bean at its low, picked up 2,000 shares, and it's over 5% now. Sweet. Any info on Beam? You know, I've been hearing about Beam. I have been hearing about it, but I don't know anything. Is Beam a layer 1 project? I don't know. I've been hearing a lot about Beam. I don't know anything about it. But I have, you know, like you hear about projects, but you don't really look into it. I definitely have been hearing about it, but I haven't even, like, this is the first time I've even opened up the chart. And is this the correct chart for Beam? It looks like it probably is. And we can possibly map it out. And I already see maybe something forming here. Let's see here. So looking at Beam, looks like Beam topped out at a local high somewhere around that 2.7 cent mark, and you can see it's currently sitting at around 18, right? You saw that big drop today, just like every other project. It really bounced right here, almost bounced cleanly at the 618 at around that 1.3, around 1.3.5 cent, right? Dropped down, but you can see since then it is retraced right back, if not more, from where it was at. You can see from the bounce from the bottom, it's up 40%. So if that's a project, if you were able to catch that bottom, even from where you're at right now, is a solid move. Now, not knowing anything about this project and looking at the actual chart, being that it's really not that old of a chart. It looks like it came out in October. You know, really not much to say other than you're gonna have a couple spots for some resistance. Obviously, it's support. The 382 at around that 18.5 cent, or I'm sorry, the 1.85 cent mark. And then obviously you have this spot right here, the 236 at around the 2.2 cent that you can see it's hit multiple times. That's going to be a spot of some solid resistance on its next way up. But the way this chart looks, it looks fairly bullish. And I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are within the next day, as long as the market allows it. It's back up towards this 21222 mark where it's retesting this 236 and possibly breaking through. So look out for that. Definitely. But yeah, it looks bullish for sure. Fairly new project, but just looking at the fib retracements and what it's done as far as that drop from today and where it rebounced, looks like there's a lot of people that bought into that dip and are, this project definitely does look bullish for sure. Now, let's see here. So TJ was saying, talking about Sponge V2 initial coin offering. They said it should be on the. Okay, we'll have to look into it. I've been hearing about Sponge V2 as well. Yeah, Sean, we already were looking up Homer Simpson, but I'll see. I think it wasn't on TradingView. I got to go up on the DEXs. Oh, let's see. Actually, I think it might be on here. Is this Homer? Is this the correct chart right here? It looks a little wonky. Maybe this is it right here. Yeah, this is probably right here. I think. Is this it? If this is it, that means Homer's been out for a little while, because I mean you can see the 200-day moving average. It just started in November, so this project's pretty much been out for about a year. Same as Milady. Couple things on Homer, you can see where it made like almost like this triple top up here, and got rejected right at this 6.4. Now, is this 12 zeros in front of it? Let me look up on the DEX real quick. Sometimes you gotta just look these projects up on the DEX screener. Yeah. So there it is right here. Yeah, so same chart. Oh yeah, we were mapping it out. Yeah, so you can see I put a spot of some solid support. If I was looking to possibly buy in on Homer, I'm looking at that 11.0, that 27 mark is going to be a pivotal spot for some support. You can see even after today, it really hasn't moved. I will tell you guys real quick, so we saw this big dip today, right? I have had a big chunk of money in DeFi for Chronos on. I don't know if you guys are familiar with MMF, but I had it on MShare, which is a project that runs off the MMF platform, and I bought in at like $14, and it shot up to like $30 today out of nowhere. And it was crazy because when it shot up to its local high is when everything on the actual markets like crypto, Bitcoin and everything was down. So I noticed that DeFi did not get slaughtered like the traditional markets did today. And that just brings me to show you that like Homer, this project today didn't really get affected by what happened today in the actual market. You can see it's really been holding at around where it's at. Really, you wouldn't even know that there was a massive drop today in the actual market just looking at this project and looking at a lot of DeFi projects as well. So, like I said, for Homer, if I was not in the project yet, or if I was looking to add to my bag, that 27 mark would be a solid spot for some support and accumulation for myself, because you can see we've confirmed and we've bounced before we even made this local, or maybe this is an all-time high, I don't know for a fact, but before we made these local highs, we definitely got that confirmation bounce at the 27. So that would be a pivotal spot for myself. And then obviously if it broke that 27, anything under that 27 would be a solid spot for accumulating, given that the market cap's only at around $1.3 million, right? So that thing is very, very small. Very, very small. So someone asked me, what are my thoughts on Solana? On good old Solana. So for Solana, I think Solana is very, very bullish, right? One thing that Solana has behind it, other than, it has good fundamentals and it's a solid layer 1 project, the one thing that any crypto needs to really get up there and really just make massive gains is hype. Whether it's a meme coin or even if it's a layer 1 like Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever the case is, right? You guys know what hype does in the crypto market, and Solana's had that hype behind it. So has ICP. That's why you saw today both projects like Solana, you saw the drop, but then you saw it quickly got ate up, right? You saw ICP, same thing. We just looked at it not too long ago. We saw the drop, and it's pretty much doesn't even look like it was affected. It's pretty much where it was before the drop even happened. You guys remember Solana has been trading around $1, $1.05, and look where it's at. It's about, $100, $105, and you can see where it's at right now. It's about to hit back up to $100. Was barely even affected, and that's because you have so much hype behind Solana. You have so much hype behind Solana, and when you have that behind particular projects, you're going to see these things really make run-ups. You're going to see them hold strong. You're going to see them consistently making new highs, and that's what we're going to see eventually for Milady. But for the meme coins right now, it's not there. Right now, it's going to be for your layer 1s, particularly like Optimum. You have Arbitrum. You have Solana doing great. ICP's been killing it. You have a lot of these projects, particularly layer 1 projects, that are freaking doing amazing right now, and they're just staying strong even after this dip like today. So yeah, for sure. So someone said they got in, and Solana devs are backing it up. Hell yeah. Sean said he's driving, so he's using voice chat. Dude, don't worry about it, dude. Don't worry, man. No one's judging you here. No one's judging you guys. Jazzy J's in the house, guys. Everybody say what's up to Jazzy J. Real quick, if you guys haven't already, we're pretty much good, but make sure you guys hit that like. Hit that like if you haven't already. I appreciate it. I definitely do. And yeah, like TJ was saying, to Sean, make sure you be safe, bro. Focus on driving before you do anything as far as in the chat. Just be safe and drive, dude. Because you know what? Who's going to spend all that money on that big bag when Milady's freaking, at $20 billion market cap if something happens, And that leads me, so I don't know what you guys, how people, they set up, what do they call those things? Like in case you pass away, a will, right? People set up wills. What do you guys do as far as your crypto? It's a good little topic I want to talk about real quick, while we're looking at the charts. So for myself, I have a daughter. I have a 14-year-old daughter that's like, she's like my everything, right? And I have a puppy too that she just turned 10 years old. I still call her my puppy, but those are like my girls, right? Whenever I meet somebody new, they're like, well, do you have any kids? I'm like, yeah, I have two daughters, and one's got 4 legs and the other one's got a lot of attitude, right? But what I'm getting to is I wanted to make sure that if anything ever happened to me, that, my family, particularly like my daughter, can still get in to my portfolios, right? So I made sure that like my daughter for sure has all my credentials, and I always confirm with her. I'm like making sure, do you remember how to get into this? Do you remember how to get into that? And it's not that I plan on anything happening to me, but you always have to plan for the worst, right? Because the last thing I ever would want is something like that to happen. And then imagine, like you have all this in your portfolios that you've been building up, and you want to make sure that it goes to your loved ones, right? You want to make sure that it gets to your loved ones. And I also told her, I said, if anything happens to me, don't sell. I was like, just wait it out. And I literally tell her, I'm like, don't sell, just wait it out. Rawls, thank you so much. My boy Rawls consistently every day he comes in and he drops at least five bones on your boy, and I appreciate that. 5 pounds from Rawls. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And he asks, sorry, I just joined now, so I don't know if you mentioned it. Why do you think everything dropped? That's a good question. So Rawls, what we were able to confirm was that today there was a big article that came out, and pretty much what happened was the article came out today, and it pretty much was stating that the ETFs were denied, right? They were not approved, but that caused the massive sell-off initially, right? But we were able, not just we, I say everybody, we have everybody's with the internet nowadays was able to really dig it up and find out that the ETFs were not denied whatsoever. They weren't approved yet, but they weren't denied. And for whatever reason, this article came out proactively and was basically spreading FUD. They were spreading, they were trying to scare the market, spook the market. So a couple of things are speculating right now. We don't know if maybe this article somehow got some inside news that this is what's going to happen, or if they're really just trying to drive down the price and scare people out of their positions. But as of right now, what I can confirm is that we have not heard anything in regards to the ETFs being denied. Now, we are approaching these deadlines around the 5th, in between the 5th and the 10th of this month, where we are going to find out for a fact if they were approved or if they were denied. And I was just telling everybody, we had 2 different scenarios as far as approval and denial, right? For approval, I was saying most likely we're going to see something like this, where we see, maybe not exactly, but we see some kind of a play where we jump up towards around $48,000, and then it's most likely going to be a sell the news after we get approved, where we might see a sell-off, but as long as we bounce at these local highs that we're at, or we did make yesterday, we still would be very, very bullish and in game plan for us to start moving back up towards that 50,000 mark. Obviously, if we see the denial, we saw a little taste of what could happen, if the ETFs do get denied, right? But I think even if we got denied, it's going to be a short-term sell-off, where you're going to see the market not do good for maybe a week or two, or maybe for the next few weeks, but it's poised to continue to move up because we still have the halving that's happening in April. technically, if the ETFs are not approved, there's another deadline in March right around the corner for the same thing if they aren't approved, right? So we know the ETFs are eventually going to be approved. There's a 90-something% that they're going to be approved this round, but there's still that small percent that it could get denied, right? But we know eventually it is probably this year is going to be the year that they get approved. And regardless, we have so much other things that are in play as far as the halving for Bitcoin in April and the interest rate cuts for the Feds that are going to be occurring multiple times this year. So with all that being said, even if we do see the denial initially for the ETFs this month, we will see a sell-off most likely, and we'll maybe have some pain in the market, but we're poised to continue to move up steadily as we get towards the halving and other big catalysts that are going to be happening in 2024. So just to recap, it really was a FUD kind of moment for today. So far, we haven't got any kind of solid confirmation that there's any news as far as approval or denial as far as the ETF. So until we get that approval or until we can get the confirmation, we only can say that it's technically FUD. And I was pointing out, Ross, just this article right here that this is on CoinDesk, that Bitcoin ETF looks likely given these the SEC steps. We will see, or it says we see a 98% chance of approval in the next couple of weeks and a high likelihood of a Bitcoin rally to follow. So this was during that big drop today. So everything is still in play. Everything's still in play. We just saw a big spook in the market today, right? So it is what it is. And I don't know if you're familiar with Jim Cramer, but he also went bullish on the market as well. And we're probably thinking that had a big move too, because if Jim Cramer is telling you to buy something, it's usually an inverse pattern where he usually will solely crash, a stock or in this case, crypto. So you have to be very careful with him. Yeah, I didn't say sex. I meant to say SEC, not SEX. Ay. So let's see here. So Amor was saying, once you become a millionaire, keep it going in the lineage with all the good knowledge to stay rich. Oh, 100%. I don't know if you're speaking particularly for me, Amor, but dude, I 100%. I don't care where this channel leads me or where my portfolio leads me. We will 100% be here because I don't just do this for the likes and all that stuff. I do this because I like to do this, right? Like this is almost like a hobby, but this is like a lifestyle that I like, right? That I love. Not just crypto, but I love to be here with you guys and just interact about crypto. I don't have a lot of people around me that like to talk about crypto. So it's like I come in here and this is my getaway that I get to speak with you guys, about crypto, and you guys, we're all on the same page. So I definitely won't switch it up whatsoever. So just a recap on Milady real quick. Obviously we saw this big dip today, right? It's not any new news anymore, right? We saw it was roughly around a 38% drop, right? But as fast as it dropped, the dip was not eaten up all the way, but it was eaten up and we bounced right back up. It's saying from the drop, I don't understand it, but it's saying that we moved up 38% from the bottom, right? But this whole drop was about a 38% drop, and you can see we moved up about 60% from that drop. It was almost immediately eaten up, right? We've been consolidating around that 5.7. If you really technically look from where we're at right now to the middle of this channel, we're only about 20% down from where we've been chopping out in this channel. So we could easily have a good day and be right back up to where we're at, if not past it, and forget 100% about that drop. The question is did you guys take advantage of this drop today, right? Because Milady's market cap is around 42 million. During that drop, Milady's market cap dropped all the way down to $30 million. So that is just a gift from above that we all were blessed with. Hopefully we all took advantage of it, and we added to our bag. even if it wasn't lowering your average down, because I know a lot of people have been following the channel and they were smart and they bought in and held down here at these lows. But regardless, think about it. I mean, even if you bought in or added to your bag and it was a little bit higher, you still bought in at a massive fraction from where we've been sitting and where we're going to be, in these next few weeks or next few months. So definitely a good thing. So let's see here. What did I miss? So TJ was saying the longs also got dropped today. A lot of people got wrecked, and it had to sell off to cover. Oh yeah, 100%. Leverage trading will eat you alive, guys. Eat you alive. You have a couple plays and you make money. It happened to me recently, where I was leverage trading and I was having I had a solid 5 days in a row. I was up, right? And then boom, I made a couple bad moves and lost it all times freaking 5. And I was so mad at myself, right? I was so mad at myself. I was like, I'm not leverage trading ever again. I've said this before too, but I'm like, seriously, after this big hit that I took, I was like, I felt like I got robbed. I felt like someone literally put a gun to me and took all my money, right? I felt like I was just it was a bad feeling. And I was like, it was against everything that I believe in with crypto as far as holding it long term. So what happens is you start leverage trading and you get greedy. The greed, right? The greed's there, and it's just it's the dark side of trading. It really is. Be very cautious of leverage trading, guys. Be very cautious. Most of the time you're gonna end up losing, right? It's just like freaking like the casino. You're gonna go in and you might make some money at the beginning, but they're gonna come back, they're gonna get their money, and they're gonna get more from you, right? It's not a good feeling. It really is not at all. So let's see here. I just hit 35 billion in Milady, almost to 50. Nice, Sean. Good job, buddy. Good job. TJ was saying, "Damn, boy, that's a big bag." That is a big bag. TJ, you should see some of the people in here. Some of the bags that people are holding in here. They're up there, hundreds of billions, because they've been following this channel, and we've been talking about Milady since well back here when we hit the bottom, the bottom, right? So a lot of people were able to accumulate, right? And they're still holding on because this dip was big. And I agree with Super, as far as taking profits, but in the long run, this dip this move right here is going to be nothing compared to where we're at in this next bull run, for sure. So definitely, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like. We're doing good. Other than that, guys, I'm gonna pretty much leave it there. I'm gonna go spend some time with my girls. But I hope you guys had a great day today. I know today was one of those days, right, in crypto. But nevertheless, we'll be bouncing back. It's going to be nothing compared to where we're going to be at in this next bull run. So, other than that, guys, you guys be safe out there. And just like Sean and everybody's saying, the house always wins. Stay away from leverage trading. Just stop trying to time the market, right? But other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys, every single one of you guys. I really do. Rawls, thank you so much again for that super chat. Thank you. We'll be back here tomorrow unless something crazy happens and I have to just do an emergency live. So that's why make sure you guys are subscribed. You'll get the instant alert if I do go on an emergency live. But we won't do that unless something crazy happens, right? Other than that, we'll keep it at the exact time next for tomorrow around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, guys, you guys be safe out there. Be safe. Make sure you guys remember the long term. We're all going to make it on Milady and all our other projects that we're in. So, other than that, guys, you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys tomorrow, okay?